Yeah, I guess we'll call this meeting of the Vision Fund Committee to order, January 22, 2026. The first item on the agenda, I guess, would be a roll call for attendance.
Member Scher? Here. Member Peterson?
Here.
Member Stugelmeyer?
Here.
Chair Freilich?
Here. All right. First item on the agenda would be a public comment. If we have anybody interested in any public comment period. Seeing none, I guess we will move on to the second item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I'm assuming everybody got minutes to the meeting and let's check them out. So any discussion of the minutes?
A motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. We receive the Vision Fund financial statements. I believe Eric is here for that.
Good afternoon. With it being so close to the beginning of the year, not much has changed since our last meeting. There's a couple of things that I do want to point out. You'll notice the balance is up about $187,500, and that's in recognition of the sales tax funding being added to the Vision Fund at the first of the year to help support our economic development partnerships that we have with Chamber EDC and the Downtowners. Those are paid out quarterly. We've made the first quarter payments already, and so the 187 is what's left from the $250,000 of funding from sales tax. The other thing you'll notice, the number of projects that are left at the bottom. I looked at our outstanding loans receivable that we have and went and looked at an average historically of what we have on the books. Previously, we were looking at about $134,000 of a project spend. Our actual average is about $104,500. And so I actually decreased that average project depletion to 110. So we actually saw a little bit uptick to about 5.6 projects that we could do now. I can continue to do that as we put more loans out there, just to kind of hone in a little bit more on what we're able to offer to applicants.
I think that's great.
But other than that, the only real updates as far as the notes receivable, at the end of the year, we were able to fund the New Freedom Family Center. And so that process is being done with BND. And then early part of January, we funded the payment for Syria, which is Light Spring.
All right.
And so both of those have come off, leaving us only with 2 applicants that are approved but not yet drawn.
All right. One question I had on that back is like starting repayment date. I know Laughing Sun, we start in June, but there's a Cloverdale project that's supposed to start in repayment on 2/1, but I know that took a long time to get approved, and whether that's even functioning now. Is that repayment date starting on February? Or?
My understanding is yes. So what ends up happening is we contract with Lewis and Clark Development in Mandan, and so they'll be making the repayments to Lewis and Clark, and then they keep 1% of it, and then they'll start remitting payments back to us. So I would expect to see that maybe towards the end of February, early part of March, where we're going to start to see those
I just
repayments.
wasn't sure if that was actually a payment date was real, because I know that we extended that project over a year and that they hadn't drawn on it. So I was curious if that was actually starting repayment already. So.
Yeah, that's my understanding is we're expecting that. I mean, have you heard anything different, Noah? Or?
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? I would entertain a motion to receive the financials.
Motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on the financials. We have any discussion further? Seeing none, I would ask for just a vote of aye if you approve. All in favor say aye.
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 Seeing none dissent, motion passes, excuse me. Review, next item on the agenda, review vision fund guidelines. And we were attached 2025 and a 2020 guidelines to the meeting minute, or link. So I'm assuming everybody got a chance to review those and also attached here. So Noah, you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, Noah Vroman, Chamber EDC. Got it right here. Chair Freilich, we went and got both of the 2020 and the 2025 guidelines in front of you. 2020, we noticed, was date stamped by the city. The 2025, I don't know if we ever got properly date stamped and approved by the city.
Okay.
So I have them both in front of you. You could choose to just go with the 2020 or move forward with moving the 25 one. There were a few things that I noticed that were changed. Notably, the amount of time projects have to access the money down from 18 months to 12.
Yeah,
But-
we just, I think last year we had a discussion about not accessing projects and wanting them, if you don't have it by a year, then you're done. You have an initial notice at 9 months instead of 12. So,
That made sense. Would open it to you guys if you guys want to compare the two or have any questions for me. I ran through and actually found the language that was different in each.
so, anybody have any questions on that?
Maybe you covered this and I missed it. So we're not formally following the 2025 ones, or?
I don't
feel
think
like
it's been
the term
formally
that you-
approved by the
okay.
Bismarck City Commission, would be my guess is how that is. So it's technically a guideline that we don't have stamped as
Okay.
like official. So if we would like to move with those 2025 guidelines, I would just say then we would direct to move that and direct this to the city commission to approve. Is that right, Noah? Okay.
Mr. Chairman and Vision Fund committee members, correct. So changes were talked about, they were never solidified. There's been some transition in staff with the Chamber EDC. Noah has been doing a great job pulling all this together, and it's been a kind of a learning experience for both of us. And I agree with you, Chair Freilich. These were reviewed, but I think there was a drop in
Yep.
the next step in the process. And so what that next step would be, the Vision Fund Committee would move forward with a recommendation to support the 2025 guidelines as drafted, unless there are changes that you would recommend. As staff, as city administration staff, we would carry that forward to the next available commission meeting with that recommendation. There would be no expectation of a presentation from Vision Fund Committee staff or members. We as staff would be there to answer any questions that you may have,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I'd have is the contact information on the 2025, the last thing is Nathan's contact information. Would we want to get that updated before we'd get it approved?
Absolutely. And would you want your name to be on there, or do we have like a general catch-all at the EDC that this goes to so that if you move on, that someone else is there, or?
Our general contact is inundated usually with certain spams and junk mails.
Okay.
So probably just put mine down
Okay.
and change it.
We could take it out all together as well, committee members, or another alternative would be the Bismarck City Administration Department has a general email inbox as well that is monitored regularly by city staff. And so if we are looking for a means of communication, we could certainly do that. Just looking at it one more time, recognizing we as an organization, we do have brand standards, which means font styles, logos, things like that. So we would apply those. It wouldn't change the content substantively, just the physical appearance. So you know this is a City of Bismarck document, and it looks like the rest of our stuff. So we would add that. If you're okay with that, we would add that as part of the formatting before we forward this to the city commissioners for final review.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You had mentioned, Noah, that you had kind of mapped out the changes between the two.
Yes.
Would you be willing, since we're here talking about them, to just kind of run through that quick?
There was nothing major that I saw, not that, I don't know if, not error being the right word, but there was nothing concerning on it. There were changes over those 5 years and how the Vision Fund addresses these projects. The scoring matrix that's now used eliminated the need for pre-application and a full a first in a second step applications. So that wording was all changed. Like I said, the time periods and how those are accessed, that one makes sense. That was one. And then annual reviews and how you guys want to address that. In the 2020, it reviewed, it required a November review of all projects. So kind of like how Eric brings the monthly of just financials, I think it almost would call on the 2020 version to have all the projects come back and update you all on where they were at.
I think we were talking about, like, is this like, are we hiring a firm to do all the review of these? And I didn't think we
The
decided to not do that.
2025 just requires you guys, I think, to be given some sort of review of where everything's at, not necessarily by them and not necessarily at a set time in the year. That would maybe be more of a chamber EDC/city giving you guys an update rather than bringing them in for a set long meeting.
Right.
And I think that the only other thing was there was an accountability section on the 2020 document that was not in the 2025. I think I would ask the city administrator if that was necessary to be in a document approved by the city, talking about North Dakota Century Code.
All right, any further questions for Noah? Amanda? Okay. I guess with that, you don't have to stand up there, Noah. I guess we can discuss how we want to go from here, unless we have any more further questions. So, does anybody have any thought on how you'd like to proceed on the guidelines?
I obviously haven't been on the committee nearly as much as like you have been, but I've been kind of going off of this as the reference, and I feel like we all have. So in my mind, it makes sense to move that forward to the city commission with a recommendation to actually follow them.
I would agree. I mean, this seems like we did spend some time doing this last time, and Nathan was helpful. So, and changing some of that thing, and then the reasons were like, I don't know how we're doing the reviews anyway, and having the projects more timely than having 18 months out. I think were the couple of the bigger things. Definitely agree about changing the contact information. So would we rather change it or move it to a city contact to have that? Anybody have any preference on that?
What would the like standard be? Would city be kind of standard in this instance, or?
Jason, you want to answer that?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So historically, we have partnered with the Bismarck Mandan Chamber EDC to be our economic development liaison. I'm comfortable with the contact being either or, but hearing where Noah's at saying that their general inbox is inundated with a lot of stuff. We get a lot of stuff too, but probably not nearly as many general inquiries, and it is something that we monitor regularly. So I think for us to just start out with the city administration phone number, 701-355-1300, and then for the email address, it's just simply bismarckadmin@bismarcknd.gov. It's going to come to one of us, and we're going to have a direct contact with Noah or whomever at the chamber needs to be brought in. So I have no problem leaving it as city administration. It's quite likely that our email address won't change anytime soon. We're not going anywhere. So I think just for ease of, for the user's perspective, if it comes to us, we're going to reach out as soon as we need to bring the chamber into the conversation.
Yeah,
So.
I think that makes sense.
I agreed. So anybody else have comments on that or anything else they would like to see changed in that or updated or?
Assuming we'll need a motion to send that to the city too? Okay. I will motion that we send the 2025 Vision Fund guidelines to the city for their approval. And with that, we'll update the contact information to be the city administrator.
Second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to send this on to the city. Any further discussion? All right, then I guess we'll take a roll call vote on this.
Member Stugelmeyer,
Aye.
Scher,
Aye.
Peterson,
Yes.
and Chair Freilich.
Yes. Motion passes. All right. So thank you, city administration, for carrying that to the city commission for us. Guess I would ask if anybody has any further discussion or any further business. Seeing none, I guess we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you for your time.